Courtney, welcome to Tasca Ford. Can't wait to have you see what we've built here over the years. Excited to show you. You're going to see a little bit about Racer Bob, and you're going to see Ford Bob.
I'm excited to know that side of you because I only see the competitive racetrack Bob Tasca, but I have a feeling those overlap.
Well, when I'm not racing, I'm back here selling and servicing Fords across our platform, and they definitely overlap.
All right, let's go take a look.
Let's go, come on. So this is probably a pretty cool picture. This was done by a sponsor, and it's the two sides of Bob Tasca, right? The business side, which is what I'm pretty much doing during the week, and then I get to transform into the racing aspect of Bob Tasca. But
multiple personalities.
Multiple personalities. But this is home away from home. When I'm not at the racetrack, I'm here. This is my office. I think we'll spend a little bit of time in this later this afternoon. Got Wally's. My son came in and said, "Dad, you're going to have to put another shelf up." I said, "That's a good problem to have, right?"
How many Wallies do you have?
You know, I think it's 22. I don't know. I haven't counted them in a while, but I think it's around 22.
Well, they start counting them for you when you get to the milestone.
For my alcohol car, and I won 4 in alcohol funny car, and the balance in nitro. So this is the Task Cafe. Actually, this is Joey, my PR, chief of marketing. I said to him the other day, I think it was at some point this season, I said, I don't know how I did this for like 13 years without you, Joey. He's been awesome to have on. We got like kind of landmarks throughout this whole building. That was my grandfather's Model A that has a really cool story on it. It was restored by the Atlanta assembly plant at Ford Motor Company, and they actually ran it down the assembly line, and they went through the e-coat tank where they coat the chassis for rust proofing, and then they restored it, and my grandfather purchased it from them. Of course, we got to have a funny car in the showroom, and that used to be Lake Force. We've now made it a landscaping area, but when this building opened, John Force was here with my grandfather. It was just an awesome an experience. This opened in 2002, this building.
Lake Force.
We called it Lake Force. And
I was going to say, there's a bunch of
came back
pictures
from
of
a
John
trip,
on the
and I
wall.
said to myself, I said, where's the lake? There's no lake. They said, oh, no, it cracked, it was leaking. We had to make it a planter, so it's a planter for Force now.
What is your relationship like with John Force?
Oh, it's just been incredible. I've told the story many times. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for John. He's been an incredible inspiration in my life. Got me out there on tour, got to meet a guy by the name of Tony Pedregon.
Oh, yeah.
Through John, and you know, Tony to this day is my closest friend. And I just fell in love with drag racing. I fell in love with funny car racing, but I was busy. You know, we were working, and my cousins were not in the business at this point. So I started racing up in New England Dragway, stock Mustangs, and then we got a, believe it or not, a Mercury Capri, and it was a nitrous car, and just kept going faster, and met Roy Hill, went through his program, and then John gave me a chassis for an alcohol funny car. He said, listen, here it is. It was a full roller ready to go. I remember Robert worked on it, and I went alcohol funny car racing in 2003, 2004, 5, and 6. And then in 2007, we started to go nitro racing. So it's been a long ride, but John's played a big role in it, that's for sure.
He has sculpted everyone.
Well, welcome to TascaParts.com. You know, I go around the country and I hear from so many of our fans and customers that they do business with us on our parts site. And this is where the magic happens for TascaParts.com. How you doing? So this is where all the shipping happens and the ordering happens. So we have a couple of warehouses. We have a real big warehouse up the street that does a lot of our wholesale parts. And then the parts are brought here early in the morning. You know, most of the activity is already over here. It happens during the middle of the night, staging the parts.
9 o'clock.
Oh yeah, no, it's already happened. So the parts get received through the middle of the night at our main warehouse. They get brought here probably sometime around 2 o'clock in the morning. And then we have the pickers that work on the third shift get it organized to the packers and shipped out. So this place will ship like 30,000 packages a month.
Holy cow.
All over and that's packages, not items, because some boxes could have 3 or 4 parts in them. But it's been a great business for us. We started it many years ago, and it's been awesome to hear the feedback from all over the country that people buy parts from us through TascaParts.com.
Jeez.
All right, so we're gonna do the filming, Jack. So let's meet the PPG team. It's exciting to have them here. Trish, Jack, these are absolutely integral pieces to the whole relationship with Tasca Racing. I've said it before, there's only been 2 logos on my car since day one, only 2. And it's the PPG logo and the Ford oval. And I'm very fortunate to have had, just incredible support with them over the years, both at the racetrack and truthfully, even more importantly, within our businesses. I had a guy one time come to me at the track with a business card and says, "Hey, I can find you sponsorships." And I said, "Well, I don't want any sponsorships." He goes, "What do you mean you don't want any sponsorships?" I said, "I don't do sponsorships. I only do partners." Like, at the end of the day, every logo on my race car is a partner. In some form or fashion, we're doing business together on and off the racetrack. And I think that's critical and probably a testament of I don't know, we've been racing since 2004 in the alcohol funny car days. To be in this sport that long, you need partners, not sponsors. Because sponsors come and go, quite frankly, but partners never leave. So Trish, what do you think about racing? We dragged you into racing. I think you were an IndyCar. You were an IndyCar person for a lot of years, and then we dragged you into drag racing.
Still IndyCar, but let me tell you what, NHRA, drag racing is an acquired taste.
Oh yes, it is.
So this guy pulled me behind the start line, and I will tell you.
You were sold.
I'm hooked.
All right, let's go do some filming.
EV or gas?
Whichever's faster.
AM or PM racing?
PM, under the lights.
Formula One or IndyCar?
F1.
Alcohol or nitro?
Nitro, baby. See, Joey is my social media director, but he's also the chief marketing officer of the group, so we all wear multiple hats. You can't just drive the car or go to the racetrack. You got to do both when you're involved with this team, right, Joey? Does that sound about accurate? Multitask. Yeah. So we can be talking about dealership stuff, and then we can flip the light switch, and we go right back to racing.
100%.
Right? All right, so we got to go back to racing now.
Back to racing. Put that hat on, fortunately. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right, so we're leaving the parts center. We just did a quick shoot in our green screen room, which we make a lot of Ford car commercials in there, and we made a few PPG commercials today. And now we're going to head to the Ford Pro. And Courtney, this is a huge initiative by Ford. We're one of the largest, I think we are the largest Ford Pro dealer in the country. It's a great idea that Ford put together, is that all of the fleet customers, the big trucks, the big fleet accounts that really get bottlenecked in a traditional Ford dealership because there's not enough room or capacity, they've asked a select few of dealers to invest in this idea and build big truck centers dedicated to the heavy truck, work truck, fleet customer, and they're looking to build them around the country. And we have 4 with another one in the planning stages now. And it's such a competitive advantage in the market because once you get the service business, you get the sales business. And that's really the art of the game. My grandfather always would say, sales opens the door for service, service keeps it open for sales. And it's been really exciting to build these things out of the ground from scratch. And everyone says, well, you can't get technicians. Well, if you build it, they will come. And we believe that, and it really has propelled our whole truck business. So let's go check it out. So this is the Elite Commercial Service Center by Ford Pro. Newly renovated, one of 4, soon to be one of 5 within the Tasca Automotive Group.
This compound we're at today, what's the size? How many acres?
So it's probably about 18 acres. There's 3 buildings on it. This was acquired after we built the main store, and we also kind of call this like a little bit of the museum. So This is a timeline. This is actually really cool. So if you look at that car up on the wall, 1962, my grandfather goes to a racetrack, and this is a true story. One of the Ford racers there asked my grandfather for a sponsorship at the race. So my grandfather goes, well, okay, let's put something together. When do you want to do it? He goes, like right now. He goes, well, how are we going to do it right now? He took shoe polish.
Shoe polish, I knew it.
That is shoe polish. And they wrote Tasca Ford on the side of the car. And they went out racing. And that's what started my grandfather's passion racing. And you can see as we walk down this wall, you'll see from where he started in 1962 to where we are today. And it's unbelievable to see the progression. And you can see as it progressed with the Fairlanes and the Thunderbolts. And that's Billy Lawton on the right holding the trophy with my grandfather. And that's John Healy, on his knee. He was the crew chief of the car. And that's an iconic picture of my grandfather at Connecticut Dragway. He'd always stand, and he did this with John Forson for many years. If you saw my grandfather, never stand behind the car. He was always off to the side, and he wanted to see what driver left first. Like, we didn't have apps back then. They had your eyeball, and he wanted his driver off the line first. No different than today, right? Nothing's changed. And he would stand and look at it, and there's the... you started to get into the Cobra Jet Mustangs, the AFX cars, and you can see the progression as it goes down. And this is a really cool picture. A lot of people don't realize that that's Carroll Shelby. So I heard so many stories about Carroll Shelby over the years from my grandfather. And Carroll Shelby's a pretty big deal, right? Growing up as a kid. And one day I met Carroll. He came to the dealership, and all the stories my grandfather said, I couldn't, like Carroll said to me, he goes, Bobby, if it weren't for your grandfather, I'm not sure I'd be here today. He said, when I had no money and I was, at a real low point in my life, and I had all of these AC Cobras coming over from London, a deal I put together, I didn't have the money to put them together. He said, I had one phone call to make, and that was to your grandfather. And I said, Bob, I can't afford to put them together. But if you build them for me, I'll sell them and pay you back. And he said, your grandfather, without hesitation, he said, done, Carroll, send them to me. And we built the original AC Cobras for Carroll that got him going and ultimately propelled him into Ford. And it was funny because when I started Nitro Funny Car Racing, I wanted to call my car the Shelby Mustang. And the Ford merchandising people said, you can't do it. I said, why can't I do it? You'll never get a licensing right from Carroll Shelby to call that thing a Shelby. He said, we don't want to get involved. You won't do it, won't happen. So I went to my grandfather. I said, hey, Pop, I can't call it a Shelby unless Carroll calls this guy. He goes, yeah, no problem. The guy calls me back. He goes, well, I'm not quite sure how well your grandfather knows Carroll Shelby, but it must be pretty good because I just got off the phone with him. He said, as long as Tasca and Shelby are on that car, do whatever you'd like. And it was awesome to be able to start my career with my grandfather alive and Carroll alive and have them watch me win. I won Gainesville the second year racing. Those are some of the most fondest memories I have racing, was when they were around. And now we're just carrying on what they started. And you can see the progression as it goes along. And you even got a guy by the name of Mario Andretti.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a great story. People don't realize Mario used to race for Ford in IndyCar back in the day, and they did a promotion at a drag strip where Mario flew in, landed on the drag strip, got out of the airplane into my grandfather's car, won the race, and flew out. And one of the reporters asked him, they said, Mario, why would you fly here, get in a car you never drove, in front of all these people to race a race? He said, it was very simple. Bob Taska told me I would win. The car was good enough to win. And it's a great story. He came in for the Mustang. The Mustang's third birthday was held at our dealership in East Providence, Rhode Island. And it's just a long history. That's a cool photo. That's a picture of me and John when I beat Hagen. You can see, as the pictures kind of go around, that's Elena Ford and Henry Ford III. Had just an incredible relationship with the Ford family. It dates back with my grandfather and Henry Ford II, and it carries on today.
That's a wild piece of history, I think, that's kind of lost in maybe even all motorsports, but drag racing especially, because we talked about it earlier, sponsors come and go, and you see different, even the Force clan, like going over to Chevy, it's not the fans, I think, don't understand. I didn't know till you just told that it's not even just your partnership with the company; it's the people.
It's
Your
the
grandfather
people.
in the show,
Yeah.
like that is
It's
a wild
relationships.
story.
It's relationships, and it's relationships built on trust and partnership, and going through good times and bad times, which happens, and just figuring it out together. And we've been very fortunate to have had an incredible relationship with Ford over many, many years, and we're growing with Ford. We're up to 9 Ford stores across the country, looking for more. We're bullish on Ford. We think the future is very, very bright, and it's been really good.
I drive a
It's been
Ford.
Really good. We like that, and we like that. We like that a lot. And the slogan "Win on Sunday, sell on Monday" is alive and well. That I can assure you.
Everybody uses it.
I
That's
know.
y'all's.
I like that.